Well, thank you, everyone. It's 1:04 Eastern time, and the Swiss in me can't wait any longer and keep you waiting any longer before we start. So thank you so much for being here with our very first Alchimie Forever Masterclass. It's a pleasure having both skincare professionals and consumers on the line. Thank you for registering. And I saw from the registration list that we have people from the West Coast, from the East Coast, and even from Switzerland. So thank you for being here. And I guess I should say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on your time zone. A couple quick housekeeping matters. You are all muted and not on video, and that's not because I don't want to see your beautiful faces. It's for logistical purposes, and so that we don't all talk over each other, but please utilize the chat function or the Q&A function as you wish, and we will be taking a look at those throughout the next hour and trying to keep this as conversational as we can and really addressing the questions that you may have. Let me start by introducing my friend and master esthetician, Jenna Walsh, who has agreed to go on this adventure with me of the first master class. Hi, Jenna. She is a master esthetician at Heyday, which is one of our key professional partners. Both Alchimie and Jenna have had the privilege of working with Heyday from the very beginning. So about 6 years now. Heyday is a chain of facial shops with 10 locations in New York, Los Angeles, and Philadelphia, and now open to franchising. Some really exciting Heyday developments coming this year and in the future. Jenna has been working with Alchimie from the beginning at Heyday and has given me some of the best facials I've ever had. I miss those. I have to come see you in New York. and has experience prior to Heyday in a variety of other spas and health clubs. And I learned this morning went to very, very cold Binghamton University in New York. Yeah. Welcome, Jenna, and thank you for being here. And then I also want to introduce, you do not see her, but my colleague Mandy, who handled all of the technical, logistical aspects of this class. Thank you, Mandy, for all the logistics, and she will be helping us again monitor the chat and the Q&A function. So let's begin. What are we doing here today? So we thought it would be a perfect opportunity to have a masterclass to introduce you to our newest product, the Kantic Light Clarifying Cream. And to make it even more interesting and not only talk about Alchimie products, but really talk about skin and teach you something about skin, hopefully, I thought it would be wonderful to talk about how our skin changes seasonally. And Jenna will have some wonderful comments to add on that and teach us, how do we adjust our skincare routine with the change of seasons. And obviously what we're talking about right now is the arrival of hot, humid, sticky, delightful summer weather. So let's start with our Kantic Light Clarifying Cream, which maybe you can see, there you go. These virtual backgrounds are woozy. So why did we launch the Kantic Light Clarifying Cream? Launches for us at Alchimie Forever are really special. They are very rare. We launch a product maybe every 18 to 24 months when we feel that we really have something to contribute, something special, the perfect formulation. And so we don't launch for the sake of newness, which, every time we launch a product, the following question the following week is, oh, what's coming out that's new? So this is a big deal for us. Why did we launch a new product? We had a lot of requests from you consumers, from you spa and professional skincare partners for a product that would better address acne-prone and oilier skin types. So, this is part of how we decide how to expand our brand, is we obviously listen to people like Jenna, who say you have great products for dry skin types, but there's a gap, there's a missing piece for an acne prone skin type. And so that was the why. who is it for? So I kind of give it a little bit away. It's for an oily combination acne prone skin, and Jenna will go a little bit more into detail on that. It's also for a younger clientele. You know, our Alchimie community typically starts paying attention to their skin and to us in the, I'd say, early to mid 30s, right when skin is starting to change, right when you might be seeing some maybe fine lines, maybe appearance of brown spots. And our community goes all the way into 70s and 80s, which I love because it's never too late to start, and it's also never too late to care. But really, we don't have anything for a younger skin type, 20s, and so that is the who. Let's talk a little bit about the what. What is this product? This is really a lightweight or weightless moisturizer. Some people talk about water creams, gel creams. These are all terms that you might have heard, you know, reading consumer magazines or in the industry. So this is an extremely weightless product, but I want to say right from the start, it is not oil-free. And this is something that we've had a lot of questions about, because if this is for an oily prone or acne prone skin type, why wouldn't it be oil-free? And the reason is the vicious cycles that acne prone and oily skin types get in. And if any of you listening have too much oiliness, too much sebum in your skin, and you've tried to strip all that sebum away, you've probably experienced that vicious circle where you're trying to minimize oil, and in exchange, your skin gets angry with you and produces even more oil. And so the best way to help a oily skin type is really to balance sebum. It's not to take away the oil. And jojoba, which is one of the featured ingredients in this moisturizer, is an amazing ingredient for sebum regulation and to minimize shine and to minimize oiliness. So not oil-free, but certainly weightless or lightweight. And then the second ingredient that is absolutely key in this moisturizer is rosemary extract. Rosemary, you might know it from cooking, but in skincare, it has beautiful anti-inflammatory, antiseptic, antibacterial properties. And so it helps to fight the bacteria that cause acne and breakouts. And it's really the key ingredient that will promote blemish-free, healthy-looking skin, and that will help to both correct as well as prevent further breakouts. So that gives you a little bit about the why, the who, and the what. Jenna, let's turn it over to you. I know you, for 6 years now, have used the Kantic Calming Cream personally and in your heyday profession. So tell us a little bit about how you compare the two, contrast the two, maybe even combine the two.
So Kantic Light, I've been using now for the past like 6 or so months. I got a little sneak peek from Ada. Okay, so let's go over exactly what this feels like and the purpose of it compared to the Kantic Calming Cream that we all know and love. So as the name suggests, super lightweight, and I love that almost weightless description that Ada gave. It has a really silky consistency. The absorbability is beautiful. It sinks right into the skin while still feeling like it's providing hydration. It's going to be an obvious choice for those of you who are breakout prone or have a tendency to experience clogged pores. The texture feels so lightweight and comfortable for those sort of skin types. But also, it's not that just the texture which makes it suitable for those skin types. It really does come down to the ingredient formulation. Ada highlighted a few of them. Rosemary is key. It's a way to kill bacteria that lives inside a breakout without stripping any of your skin's natural oils. So the skin is still left in a balanced state, but the bacteria is gone. Also, there's European blueberry, which is known as bilberry in a lot of ingredient listings. That's an anti-inflammatory. Now, why would you want an anti-inflammatory in a breakout clearing moisturizer? The answer is because in most breakouts, especially adult breakouts, it's so much more rooted in inflammation than it is a bacterial problem. Yes, there's bacteria going on, which needs to be killed. But if you were to go to a mainstream beauty retailer and pick up a moisturizer that was formulated to clear breakouts, most likely it would be loaded with those really harsh antibacterials and no anti-inflammatories. So you might clear the breakouts, but your skin would be left in a really vulnerable, stripped, dry state. I think if you're somebody who's experienced breakouts your entire life, like I have, you can picture a moisturizer that's done that to your skin. Adult breakouts have all that inflammation, which is why they hurt, which is why adult breakouts and even teenage breakouts become swollen. They take forever to heal. So the fact that Alchimie Forever has combined the antibacterial with the anti-inflammatory in this product means that it's suitable to address breakout activity, but in a really healthy way for your skin, to where your skin still feels comfortable. Your skin still looks and feels balanced. Another bonus of all of the botanicals in here is that they're high in antioxidants. Again, why is that important? Because if you're somebody with a breakout concern or a concern for clogged pores, you also still want to be addressing signs of aging. I can't tell you how many times I've had clients come to me and say, okay, like I feel like my entire routine is taking care of the breakouts. Like, where can I put in a step that addresses aging? I want to work on fine lines. I want to work on firmness. All of the ingredients in Kantic Light are high in antioxidants, which prevents your skin from going through that oxidation process, which we all go through because we live in a modern world. When you walk,
I love that you, sorry to interrupt. I love that you talk about adult acne, you know, because I think it's so unfair to have breakouts and wrinkles at the same time. Like either you should have one or the other and then graduate from one to the other. But you're right. So many of us have those breakouts and are at the same time fighting signs of aging.
Yeah, so it's about really covering all bases. And that's exactly what this Kantic Light does. You know, it's going to work on firmness. It's going to still address fine lines, but keep you clear at the same time. And then one other ingredient that I do want to highlight is glycerin. It's in this Kantic Light as a big hydrator. Glycerin, it's a humectant. So that means it's drawing water molecules to itself like a magnet and holding them into your skin. And as an esthetician, I actually prefer it over hyaluronic acid. The molecular weight of glycerin is so much smaller that it penetrates deeper into the skin to give you more thorough hydration. Sounds wild because hyaluronic acid is such a buzz ingredient. One of my esthetician friends was joking with her client one time saying that glycerin needs hyaluronic acid's publicist because
sure.
like, why are we forgetting about this like unsung skincare hero? I actually love that it's in here because you're going to get such more thorough deep down hydration with glycerin in there. So this is really an impressive ingredient roundup for a moisturizer that when you apply it feels so lightweight and like they're almost like there's nothing to it. My gosh, there's a lot to it. And then as an esthetician, I'm always also looking for how to use products slightly differently. Yes, I read the box and the bottle as looking for like the directions, but I want to tell you guys, a few different ways of how you can use this product besides just as a moisturizer. So here are a couple. If you're tied to the moisturizer that you use morning and night right now and aren't wanting to switch to this as your moisturizer, use this as almost like a treatment step before your moisturizer. So you can still reap the benefits of all of these clearing and balancing ingredients, and then just layer your existing moisturizer over it. Another way you can use this is, in my professional experience, my male clientele does prefer more of a super lightweight moisturizer. So this fits the bill. It absorbs without any leftover residue or shine, but this can also be thought of as a beard treatment. Apply it to the entire face, including a full beard or mustache area. Kantic Light absorbs beautifully without any buildup after working it in, because a lot of moisturizers will leave a buildup in facial hair. And the clearing ingredients are really going to help with ingrowns and any breakouts that are likely to settle into the beard area.
You really are living up to the esthetician's reputation for doing crazy things with products. I love it.
I can find a product and multitask with it. And now, of course, my fiance wants to use this product, so I need another bottle. So I would love to do a bit of a visual for you guys of the actual products. Of course, I have both because the Kantic Common Cream is still near and dear to my heart. But first of all, the packaging is slightly different. The Kantic Common Cream that we know and love is the jar. The Kantic Light is in a pump. And they're not.
That is very much about the texture, which you will see on Jenna's hands, hopefully as clearly, as possible. The texture of the Kantic Light is so fluid that it really lends itself better to a pump bottle than to a jar. And, you know, side note, we have so many comments about people preferring glass jars, so many comments about people preferring airless bottles. I think it's hard to please everybody. There's pros and cons to both. But the choice that we made here in the packaging was really about the texture, which hopefully you saw on Jenna's hand is even lighter than the Kantic Calming Cream.
Yeah, I mean, when you take the Kantic Common Cream out with a little popsicle stick, which I always do because that's the esthetician in me, you know, like you can hold it upside down. Mm-hmm. And it won't move. The Kantic Light is going to be a lot more fluid, but still is a lovely silky spreadable texture. You'll also notice that the absorbability when you have it on your skin, the Kantic Light goes in pretty quickly, while the Calming Cream has that more noticeable feeling of a moisturizer on your skin. And then, of course, you know, totally different ingredient profiles for the two products. The Kantic Calming Cream, ingredient focus, more so soothing the skin, reducing redness. The Kantic Light, more so breakout focused, more so preventing clogged pores and buildup in the skin. Honestly, because we're talking about it so much as a breakout moisturizer, I also don't want only be for people who, you know, have experienced breakouts for years. This also can be experience more situational breakouts, breakouts on occasion, if you will. So in recent times, obviously, maskne has been such a hot topic, like horrible. Wearing facial coverings, it's not fun, especially in the summer heat. And although things are improving drastically, there are going to be so many occasions this summer where we still will have to wear facial coverings. So I suggest to my clients, you know, as of today, last month, like switch your moisturizer, because to not end up with the maskne situation of last summer, we need to be applying something lightweight that hydrates without heaviness underneath the mask. And with the addition of all of the ingredients that work to kill bacteria and keep your skin balanced, you could actually be preventing the maskne in the first place rather than trying to heal it afterwards.
I love that you address maskne. I know that, you know, in many areas of the country, we are starting to put down our facial coverings, but we're not 100% there yet for sure. And as you said, I mean, this has impacted skin types that have never had breakout problems before, not in teenagers, not adult acne, and all of a sudden we have a global pandemic and we have, I mean, I had breakouts and enlarged pores in the chin and lower jaw area, which I've never seen before. So it's definitely an added way to use the product. So I wanted to go back to this idea of how we treat an oilier and acne prone skin type. You know, I said at the beginning that one of the reasons why we created this product was really to create a more complete regimen for that skin type. If you have been with Alchimie for a while, you know that our origin is in post-procedure skincare. So our origin is to treat sensitive, sensitized, reactive, inflamed skin types, which of course, an acne-prone skin type, as Jenna very eloquently explained, has inflammation going on. But we really started out treating redness, sensitivity, rosacea, eczema-prone skin, and what have you. And then we expanded to treating mature skin types, so the signs of aging, and those skin types typically are drier. So we made more nourishing, more hydrating products. And only now are we really offering something truly targeted, not only to balancing sebum and reducing oil, but also to treating acne. So if you were to, as a consumer, want to, you know, you have oily skin and you're looking for a new skincare regimen and you're looking at Alchimie, or if you're a esthetician and you are seeing oilier skin patients, I wanted to chat with you a little bit about the types of products from our line that you would recommend. So in the most minimalist fashion, I can get down to 3 products. And I've been reading a lot about skinimalism or skin minimalism, you know, this idea getting far away from the 17-step Korean skincare routine, which I love sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. So my most minimalist way of looking at a regimen for an oily skin type is 3 steps. Your cleansing step. So this would be our purifying gel cleanser, right here in front of my face. This is a very active cleanser. It contains papaya enzyme, which is almost like providing you a mild exfoliation. So a deep cleanse, truly cleaning out your pores, getting rid of that dead skin that's layered on top. And then the second key ingredient here is grapefruit, which is an astringent ingredient. And so here you have, you know, it's like a 1-2 punch. The papaya enzyme is kind of digging all that dirt out of your pores. The astringent grapefruit is helping to tighten and close those pores to help dirt stay out. So it's a very active, I call it a squeaky clean or deep clean type of cleanser that is beautiful, especially in the evening, to kind of get rid of the day, to remove the day from your skin. It helps to remove makeup as well, including in the eye area. It's pH balanced to the skin, so it has this toning property to it as well. So this is something that for most oilier skin types, combination skin types, we recommend once a day because it's such an active cleanser. So once a day in the evening. Our second product would be the Kantic Light Clarifying Cream, as we've been discussing. And, you know, this is truly a product that you can use in morning as well as evening. So if your number one priority is to treat your breakouts, to treat your acne, using it twice a day is ideal. And you know everything that's in that product, including the malign glycerin, that's such a great ingredient. And then third, because we always need to treat the eye area, is our tightening eye contour gel. So this is a wonderful, lightweight gel texture product packed with antioxidants that will help with signs of aging, of course, but with the even added benefits of depuffing, lifting, tightening, reducing swelling, and really opening the eyes and reducing the look of fatigue. And it's particularly appreciated by an oilier skin types. I have had a number of questions about this product from people who say they have very oily eyelids. And you think, what, oily eyelids? But yes, it's a thing. And so it really is a very lightweight product. So all three of these focus on either reducing shine, controlling sebum, controlling breakouts, and helping to really clear out your pores. So those are the products that, as I said, I would recommend from our line. Now we have a strong 3-step regimen for an oilier skin type. Now, Jenna, we talked about oily skin types. We talked about breakouts. Tell us a little bit about normal skin types, and what do you think the Kantic light would be for a more normal skin type?
Well, a normal skin type is the most common skin type. Generally means, as an esthetician, when I look at your skin, that I'm seeing larger pores throughout your T-zone, and then they get smaller as you move to the outskirts of the face. So it might mean that on average, your skin feels comfortable, but maybe a little midday shine through the T-zone, perfectly normal for a normal skin type. So for summer, especially, the Kantic light is the perfect option for a normal skin type. Although, again, it has those clarifying ingredients, by no means are they drying or stripping to your skin. So if you're a normal skin type, pick this up for the summer, and it's your balancing summer weight moisturizer. Also, it's fantastic because it's absorbing so quickly. You can immediately layer on your SPF makeup and not feel weighed down as you head out in the summertime, because putting on a more mid-weight to heavy moisturizer, and then your sunscreen, and then your makeup, you can feel like you're melting outside. And if anyone's in New York like me the past week, my gosh, you feel like you're melting outside.
Look, I have you beat. I'm in Louisiana, which is where my husband's office is. So I've been here all week, and it's like, I don't know, 92 degrees and really 200% humidity. And I can testify to what you just said, because I've actually not been able to really use the Kantic light on its own since it launched in April, because my skin is normal to slightly dry. I'm nearing my mid-40s. I can't believe I'm saying this on a recorded thing, but I am. And so my skin has definitely changed and become a little bit drier. So I've been able to use the Kantic light to layer it, as you've explained, as an anti-inflammatory, as a sebum regulator under some of our other moisturizers. But this week I have left the house with only that on my skin, and it is perfectly enough. It's not too much, and I don't feel like I'm sweating and like I'm melting, and all of these products that I put on my face are like dripping off me. So there's definitely a seasonality and a climate piece to the product.
Absolutely. And even if you did pick this up as a normal skin type and started using this as your daily moisturizer and your nightly moisturizer, if you wanted just a bit more nourishment for nighttime, my favorite tip is to work in just a dot of the Alchimie Forever mask, the Kantic Brightening Moisture Mask. You have that?
Again, with your crazy things of what estheticians do with so.
So yeah, just a little bit of your Kantic light, a little dollop of the mask, mix them together. And for a normal skin type, that would be perfect for deeper nighttime repair.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about this warmer weather. I'm glad to hear it's reached New York. Why do we say that you need to adjust your skincare routine as the seasons change? And obviously, this also happens in the fall and winter. That will be the subject of a separate masterclass. But why does it matter what the weather is outside for which skincare products we use?
Yeah, as an esthetician, the 2 times of year that people come to me in a panic is midwinter and midsummer. So my best advice is to tell you to switch products and just tweak your routine before the panic sets into your skin. So now is the perfect time as we get into summer. So what happens in the summer to our skin? We sweat more, obviously, and sweat breeds bacteria, especially if it's left to dry on the skin. So, if you're out and about in the summer for hours upon hours, bacteria is going to just start living and get comfy on your skin. But if you're wearing a moisturizer with those antibacterial ingredients, it's a way to keep your skin free of that bacteria, even while you're sweating. Also, just in the summertime, there's more moisture content in the air compared to winter time. So suddenly a moisturizer that you were using in the fall and winter just doesn't feel appropriate anymore. Your skin doesn't need that weight of moisturization like it did in the winter. So honestly, do it now. Make your skincare tweaks right now so that by the middle of summer, you're not having any concern with major clogged pores or breakout activity.
Yeah, I love how you explain it's what does the air do or do not for your skin? What does it bring to your skin? Or in the wintertime, what does it take away from your skin? We have a couple questions that I thought would be super interesting to answer for everyone. Krista, so nice of you to be here. She is asking, if you wanted to keep your protective day cream in your routine, could you use the Kantic Light as a serum followed by the protective day cream SPF 23 as a moisturizer?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's exactly what I was referring to before. So like think of the Kantic Light in this case as like a treatment step. So like a serum. It's going to feel very similar to like a serum, the spreadability and absorbability. And then yes, put your protective day cream SPF right on top. That's personally my routine every morning. So you got it.
Good job. And then we have a second question also about layering. I know layering is always so confusing. In what order do you apply products? So in general, what is your kind of rule of thumb? Not speaking only now about our Alchimie products, but your general rule of how do you layer skincare products?
Very simple, thinnest to thickest. If you line up your skincare routine, think of the consistency and texture of each product and work your way to the thickest. Another thing to think about with layering is, of course, active ingredients. There's nothing in these products that they can't be layered together. The actives in terms of like the botanical formulation, all of Alchimie Forever's products can be layered safely.
Yeah, I love that. I always also say thin to thick. So more specifically, you could think a liquid serum. If you're using, for example, a pure vitamin C serum, those are typically they're almost as liquid as water. So that would be first. Second would be a serum that's more serum-like texture, for lack of a better word, maybe a hyaluronic acid serum or our pigment serum, for example. Then you would do an eye cream. Then you would do your moisturizer. And I get questions about the order of layering SPF all the time. And what we say is all treatment products first, which is what I just described. So your serums, your eye cream, your treatment moisturizers. then your SPF. And that's kind of the end of treatment and protection. And then on top of that, you can layer makeup.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a number of, not arguments, but I don't know, opinionated discussions about SPF being put on top of makeup versus under makeup. And at least from our perspective and from my father's perspective, it is absolutely not adequate to put SPF on top of makeup. You put your SPF on top of your treatment skincare products, and then you go to makeup. You agree with that recommendation?
Yeah, absolutely. And I also like to tell my clients that even if your favorite makeup brand puts on their packaging that it does have sunscreen in there, it's just most likely not the kind of protection that you would get from a skincare brand moisturizer. So your best bet is to put on a appropriate moisturizing cream with an SPF and then follow with your makeup, even if it says it has SPF in it.
Yeah, I totally agree. So in summer, we've talked about how your skin is changing, why your skin is changing. So let me share with you a couple of my favorite summer products. We've talked about the gel cleanser. I love it during the summer months when I feel like I'm, sweating so much and all icky and gross. The Kantic Light, of course, is now part of that regimen. Our pigment serum is a very good summer product. We actually just renamed this Pigment Perfecting Serum, which I don't know if you can see. It's the first time I'm holding this bottle in my hand with the new name, and I'm so excited. So oftentimes, I think there's a preconception that pigment products should not be used during the summer because somehow they make your skin more sensitive to the sun. And, I'm not speaking of all pigment products. I'm certainly not speaking of hydroquinone because that's an anti-pigment ingredient that we do not use. And that type of ingredient can come with increased photosensitivity, but our Pigment Perfecting Serum does not contain hydroquinone and does not actually contain any ingredients that will make your skin more photosensitive. And, if you think, when do we get more brown spots? When do we get more uneven complexion? It's sun derived mostly. And so it's even more important to be using a pigment product during the summer. So this is a product that you can use twice a day, every day, year round, throughout the entire sunny days. And again, even more importantly, during the very sunny days. This is one of the products that you all also carry at Heyday Gen 9. I know that we've had conversations about the fact that it is something that you can use in sunshine with no trouble.
Yeah, it's one of our most popular brightening serums at Heyday.
So this is something that I love to use during the summer. Jenna mentioned our mask, our Kantic Brightening Moisture Mask. This is I don't know, I call it one magical product for perfect skin. It's just a brightening, soothing, anti-redness, nourishing, magical product in a jar. So it's a year-round product, but in the summertime, it is really good if you're suffering from a little bit too much sun/sunburns. It has true anti-redness, anti-inflammatory ingredients, including the European blueberry. It has calming oats and wild pansies. These are ingredients that are very anti-irritation, anti-itch, anti-redness again. So this is a great product to highlight, whether you are, using it on yourself, always take it with you on vacation, or highlighting it in your spa as a post-sun treatment. It really has its place in our facial care regimen in summertime. And then, of course, we have body products. I still think of us as primarily a facial care line. That's how we started, and that's the core of our offering. But it's impossible not to think about body during summer. My father always tells me, summer bodies are made in the winter. And he is so wise. And I'm like, I know that, yet I can't help but pay more attention to body during the actual summer months. So we have our firming gel for neck and bust. This is very much one of our top sellers. It's the second product that we ever created because, you know, your face really doesn't end here. It ends here at your décolleté. It's an oil-free product. It has a cooling sensation to it, which is very much appreciated during summer months. It's wonderful on the upper body. So belly, bust, you know, the lovely underarm area that sometimes jiggles. Hence, I'm wearing a jacket, long sleeved. And it contains rosemary and green tea. So again, two beautiful ingredients that have all of those anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. So that is definitely something to incorporate in your summer routine. And the texture is beautiful because again, you know, with the warmer weather, with the humidity, you want textures that are just lighter. And this is an oil-free gel that penetrates immediately. And then as a counterpart for lower body is our optimizing body contour gel. This is our answer to pesky cellulite. And it is a product that contains 9% caffeinated ingredients from Mate and guarana. And if you've used or recommended body products of the sort, caffeine is really one of those gold standard ingredients. It helps not only to break up those fat deposits that create cellulite, it also helps with the lymphatic system. And then there's also marine algae in here that help with water retention and, you know, that sensation of heavy legs that you sometimes get again when it's hot and everything is swelling, and by the end of the day you can't take off your rings and you have cankles. So this is a really beautiful product to help with that. So I love these body products. Again, a gel that has a cooling sensation that helps to really treat those areas of the body that need treatment, you know, because we are a complete person. Our person doesn't stop right here. That complements some of the beautiful facial products that we have. So we have a couple other questions going back to the Kantic light. Is Kantic light also okay to layer with Alchimie body products if someone was to have keratosis pilaris or body acne?
Oh, yes. Specifically, body acne, I've recommended this very product for chest breakouts, back breakouts. If you're somebody who breaks out easily, also like after playing sports, or even if you have a teen that plays sports with a lot of equipment, this is something that they won't mind putting on because it doesn't feel like much on the skin in a good way. So yeah, fantastic. And keratosis pilaris, I haven't personally tried it for that, but I have KP, so I'm going to try it now. Yeah.
So Krista, who asked the question, is an esthetician in Massachusetts. So she just gave you a tip how to use the product in a crazy way from one esthetician to another. I love it. And, you know, I just had a question come in through our website yesterday about a mom who has a 15-year-old who's training to become a professional gymnast. And she was saying she bought the Kantic light for her breakouts on her face and was asking specifically if she could use it on her back as well, because she is, you know, in a leotard for hours on end, and she's very careful about showering immediately post-workout, but still is experiencing that. So that's definitely something that that you can try.
Definitely.
And then let's see, we have a question about an oil serum product. Will there be an oil serum product in the making for the future? So I love these questions because I love input and insights in terms of products that, you know, we don't have yet that you would like to see in our brand. I will put that on the list. I can tell you that products that are on the list for perhaps 2022 consideration are a facial oil, which this sounds like an oil serum product is kind of in that family. We also have had a lot of requests for a lip/lip contour product, which is, you know, the lip and the lip contour are, they're right here next to each other, but they are very, very different skin. This skin in the upper lip is extremely thick. It's a little bit hairy. I hate to say it, even in women. And the skin of the lips is extremely thin and delicate. So it would be probably two separate products. So that is on the list. And then we've also had requests for a toner. So those are the things that we're considering for future. But I also have to say that I feel like I just had a baby and I'm not ready to have another baby quite yet. So it's even hard for me to think. But oil serum product, definitely noted. Thank you, and added to the list. Let's see. Can the advanced okay, so let's go back to summer products. Can the advanced retinol serum be used during the summer months? I love this question. Jenna, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, I say absolutely. As long as you are someone who is diligent about putting on your daily SPF, absolutely keep up with your retinol. Just make sure you always apply it at nighttime.
Yeah, and this is something that my father has the same answer as you do. It's, you know, we would say avoid it if it's the week of July 4th and you're spending the week at the Cape and you're on the beach every single day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But if you're leading your normal life during the summer months, again, sun damage happens primarily during the summer months. And so working against that sun damage is extremely important during that delicate time. The same answer that we just had, or the same conversation we just had with the pigment serum. So yes, but retinol does make your skin more photosensitive, unlike any of the ingredients in the pigment serum. So, you know, with the caveat of being careful with sunscreen. And I want to get to sunscreen for a second, but I had a question from Gregory. So nice to see you, Gregory. Can the Kantic light be stored, then used after being in a skincare fridge? And do you recommend? And Jenna, look at your face. Yeah. Gregory is also an esthetician, so there you go.
Gregory. Absolutely. It's not an all year thing that I do. I seem to just do this in the late spring into summer, but by all means, if you want to do it all the time, fine. Skincare in the fridge is fantastic. First off, it feels so refreshing. And if you're somebody with more sensitized or reactive skin, or if you got a little too much sun, the cool temperature does help to bring down inflammation faster. So the Kantic light, absolutely store that in the fridge.
And I think in our prep conversations, you also mentioned that you like to sometimes put the tightening eye contour gel in the fridge, which I've heard from a lot of people.
Yeah, that's actually more of an all year round thing for me, because I think applying something cool to the eyes, it does a little more for depuffing. So it's fantastic. That is a morning and night ritual for me.
Yeah, fabulous. So let's talk a little bit about SPF products. You know, we've been talking about summer skincare, so it would behoove us to address this, because as my father always said, if you wear an antioxidants rich SPF cream in the morning every day of your life, you will age more gracefully. If you do nothing else, but just that one step, you will age more gracefully. And it's absolutely true. And to use an image that, you know, my mom always told us, girls, my sisters and I, that's a little risque. If you think of your grandma, and you think of the last time you saw her, the skin on her cheek up here and the skin on her cheek down there, which most of us haven't seen, but you get the picture. That is the difference between chronological aging and environmental aging. Chronological aging is written in our genes, and there's nothing that we can do about it. And so it's never going to be that you're going to look the same when you're 20 and when you're 50. However, we have a lot of control over environmental aging, which is the aging, accelerated aging that is caused by the environment. So of course, it's primarily sun and UV. It's also, you know, lifestyle, pollution, smoking, but let's say sun and UV is like 90% of that. So hence the need for a SPF talk. So we have one SPF product right now, our Protective Day Cream SPF 23. It is a chemical screen, not a physical block. And, you know, I think of the conversations between chemical screens and physical blocks the way that I think about conversations about politics, which is I'm not here to convince you one way or another. We love both. We don't have an SPF physical block right now because we haven't figured out how to formulate it in a way that I would use. You know, that's an elegant enough formulation, but I love our chemical block. It contains 4 chemical ingredients that provide broad spectrum UVA, UVB protection. It is not waterproof, and it is SPF 23. Why am I telling you this? Because really this to me is your normal life SPF. It also contains lightweight moisture, so you're having a little bit of a hydrating effect, and it has antioxidants from Edelweiss, the European blueberry, and a vitamin C derivative, ascorbyl glucoside. So you're having moisture, anti-aging, antioxidants, and sun protection all in one. So for, you know, feeling protected when you're driving in your car, when you're walking to work from the parking lot, when you're going out to lunch, when you're running your errands. But it's not something that I use, for example, when I go to the beach, or if I'm going on vacation, or if I'm going on a 5-hour hike. So that is my pitch to you in terms of finding a sunscreen, whatever type and from whichever brand, preferably ours, but really just find a sunscreen that you like and that you use every single day in January, in December, when it's raining, because that is how you will age more gracefully. Jenna, you're nodding your head.
Yeah, I mean, it's the moments that you don't think to put sunscreen on, like those cloudy days, that add up.
For sure.
My clients who are in now their mid 50s, mid 60s are, I think, thinking back to those cloudy days.
Yes. And Karen from Great Jones Spa just said, my favorite sunscreen from Alchimie. I finish all my facials with your product. Thank you, Karen. And Karen and I have had many conversations about, you know, what is the best sunscreen, chemical blocks, what's the right number, chemical screens, the right number, physical blocks. And in the end, we agree that it's the sunscreen that you're going to use, you know, that is the best sunscreen for you. And then we have a question about what SPF number do you recommend if you are going to spend the entire day at the beach outside? And, you know, Jenna, I know Heyday carries some beautiful sunscreen specific brands that I'd love for you to touch on.
Yeah, so to start with like specific numbers, I'd say don't get too caught up on the number. Tell yourself or tell your clients to be more concerned with how often you're reapplying. There is a lot of marketing that goes into sunscreen products, and you know, there's like SPF 100s out there, but if you apply your SPF 100 once in the morning and you're at the beach all day, you're still going to get breakthrough sun exposure. So I'd say stay above an SPF 20 across the board, but you really need to be diligent about reapplying, you know, every like 80 minutes when you're in, you know, sun exposure, like at the beach, on a boat, you know, things like that. So I start every day with the Alchimie Forever Protective Day Cream SPF 23. But if I'm planning a day at the park, or, you know, if I'm going to be out in the sun, that's when I usually turn to Supergoop products, which is a brand that Heyday has carried also from the start, along with Alchimie Forever, a really dependable sunscreen brand that has a wide array of products that are really unique. I haven't found products like them often, specifically for the body. I like how Ada said, like, your person doesn't stop here, like talking about like surface area of the skin, like this is so small. We have so much other skin to concern ourselves with. So please please look for quality products that you put on the rest of your body, especially for sun protection. Specifically, products from Supergoop that I love, they have a great glow oil, SPF 50 for the body. And I feel like it's like rewriting the narrative for body oils that you can wear in the sun, because we all just think to our parents who say they used to rub, you know, baby oil on their skin, and don't put oil on your skin, it's horrible. Like, yes, if it doesn't have sunscreen in it, it is a horrible idea. But an SPF 50 broad spectrum oil from Supergoop, like, ingenious, love it. Everyone looks good wearing this oil, specifically your legs. It does wonders for your legs.
Okay, a cellulite treatment look.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is like a must for me. I honestly put it on sometimes, even if it's like not sunny out during the evening, just because it makes my skin look great. Also from Supergoop, they make a great powder that comes in a brush that I use for my hairline, especially my hair part, because that will get toasted at the beach. So you don't want that to get burnt. And then they also make a setting spray for the face or body, which is broad spectrum SPF. I'm not sure of the number, but it's above 20. So if I'm out at the beach, if you're like me, I have my hands like in a bag of barbecue potato chips, and I don't want to go reapply my face sunscreen with my hands. Having a setting spray with SPF just to reapply constantly throughout my beach day is so convenient. So Supergoop is like my go-to for body and face, besides Alchimie Forever.
I love that brand as well. I love their brand story and their founder. I've never met her, but I've heard her speak at conferences. So I totally endorse those recommendations. I will add that at Forever Institute, where my father's medical spa in Switzerland, we carry La Roche-Posay, specifically their SPF products, and whether for face and body, they have some really good, very high SPF, pretty nice textures. So those are two brands that you can look for if you're looking for body sunscreens, or if you are looking for something for face that's a little bit higher. And then we're almost at the top of the hour. I have a couple more comments and one more question I'd like to address. Thank you for being such an interactive audience. This makes it even more fun. We have a comment about bringing the protective day cream down to the back of the hands during facials. So at the end of facials, Jenna, you were mentioning using the protective day cream. Karen mentioned finishing all her facials with that product, and that is really great. Another thing that my father says is your hands are your second face, meaning, if nothing else on our body being as exposed to the environment because we wear clothing, certainly the back of our hands are. So anything that you are using your fingers to apply on your face, if you have any residue, don't ever wash your hands. Don't ever give that to your towel. Give that to the back of your hands. They will tell your age probably before your face does. So that's a wonderful comment.
Absolutely.
And then to end, Arwen asked if we have any plans for a tinted moisturizer. So this is a question that we get so frequently that I actually did a YouTube video on this because I wanted to be able to explain. So the short answer is no, but I want to explain it very briefly, the longer answer. This is not 100% true. Some tinted moisturizers are made with dyes that come from plants and fruits, but that is very, very specific technology that we do not master. Most makeup, most tinted moisturizers are given their color by mineral oxides, including, very specifically for tinted moisturizers, iron oxides. So if you, after this call or whenever you get home, if you have a tinted moisturizer, if you want to go and look at the ingredient list, if it says iron oxides, I would suggest that you just trash it, because what do we do at Alchimie Forever? We are an antioxidant brand, so we fight oxidants, we fight oxidation, and iron oxide is an oxidant. Of course, you will argue, or one will argue, that the quantities, the percentages, concentrations are so small that it doesn't matter. But from a conceptual perspective, it would be very flawed and inconsistent and incoherent on our part to preach the need for antioxidants, the need to fight oxidants and free radicals, and then have products that contain even a small concentration of anything that has oxidative properties. So that is the longer, I feel like I sounded a bit preachy and I didn't mean to, but it's the longer, more scientific reason as to why we're not going to come up with a tinted moisturizer. And sometimes I dream of figuring out how to do it with plants, and if or when that happens, then we'll have an amazing one that has only antioxidant properties and no metal oxides. So Jenna, is there anything else that you would like to add that you felt that we skipped before I say thank you?
One last thing regarding just summer skincare, like safe practices for everyone. If you're in the habit of scheduling professional peels with your esthetician, I would just ask a lot of questions about the peels. Certain professional peels have specific protocols as to strictly limiting sun exposure after. Generally, I tell my clients like 48 hours, like even if you're outside with sunscreen on, you are wearing a big hat or you're not going outside. So just make sure to ask your esthetician a lot of questions as to what's being applied on your skin. And the protocol to follow after, and just a safe habit to get into is at least schedule your peels a good week before a vacation. If you are going away and going to experience significant sun, don't do it right before you go away.
I love that. So don't stop getting your professional treatments. Just do so with a little bit of extra care.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Jenna. You were such a wonderful co-host and a wonderful source of expertise and strange product tips that I loved. Thank you for participating in this masterclass with me. And to all of you, thank you so much for being here. Look for an email from us with a thank you gift for trusting us to know what we're doing during a masterclass, our very first. And if you have any requests for future topics that you'd like for us to cover, please don't hesitate to let us know. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed.
Thanks. Bye.